everyone, it's Deepica, and I am here with my very good friend, Kasey.
Hello.
The face by Case. You guys have been asking us a lot of questions about the HUE sticks, and we wanted to answer them. He actually helped us formulate this entire product. If there's one person that can answer these questions about the HUE stick specifically, it's us two.
You just need to take a step back and think about color theory, think about color correction.
Yeah.
And you want to match the HUE stick or the color corrector to the intensity of the discoloration. So we have three shades. First, Perk, right? This is peachy pink.
For the lightest level of discoloration.
Exactly. So if you have like a little bit of blueness, a little bit of purple in terms of discoloration, and it's pretty light, you want to use a lighter color corrector, right? You're matching that intensity. Next is Rise. Obviously, this is our orange shade.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a more intense discoloration, this is going to cancel out those blue tones that you have under eye, maybe around the mouth. This is more common for medium toned women or men.
Yes.
Anyone who has a medium toned skin usually has a little bit more intense discoloration. So Rise is going to be the right shade for you.
Yeah.
And then we have Origin, right? This is red. This is the most intense color corrector that we have. And this is going to be typically for our deeper toned people who are trying to color correct. But that said, right, if you have a very intense discoloration and you're more fair, then you're going to want to use Origin, right? Someone like your friend Nabella.
Yes.
She's fairer,
exactly.
but she has more intense discoloration around her mouth and under her eyes. So she uses a red color corrector.
So
right?
it's not an exact science, but we really tried and went back and forth with these colors to make sure that we were covering the whole spectrum from light to darkest levels of discoloration on your face. We purposely made these formulas buildable and very blendable, which is why you have to kind of test and play with it.
The great thing about this, right, is even if you're fair and you have like light discoloration, you could shear this down.
There you go.
And it's still going to color correct you properly. Or if you have really intense discoloration,
you can
you just build this up on you. We've done that before.
When in doubt, go with Rise.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the multi-stick aspect of it.
Yes.
That is such an important part of this creation process, which is why it took so long.
So long.
God. Because it's two different formulas, right? Like that's why Bobby Brown called this product an innovation. Making something in a formula that works for correcting usually isn't something you can also want to pleasantly put on your lips.
Or blend out on the cheek. The tricky thing is you got to find the right balance because your corrector needs to stay in place, not mix into your concealer, not mix into your foundation.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it came down to adding the skincare.
Yes.
It was really smart to be able to add the squalane and the hyaluronic acid, the vitamin C, the vitamin E, even just the pigments and the powders and stuff put into it. It had to be a very specific load of that and go back and forth to figure it out. So I hope you guys have discovered that it is an actual really beautiful lip. I've heard a lot from a lot of people, Found seems like a creamier formula. And like they're like, Perk seems a little powdery, this seems a little more creamy. Why is that? They are at the baseline, you guys, the exact same formula. But the reason that they come on differently is different pigments have different properties to them. And so Perk actually, because it has more whites in it, Perk has more of that property in it, so it is slightly more powdery because of that, but that's how you achieve that color.
Right.
And then Found, because it's a deeper color, is able to be more creamy because Found has less of that ingredient in it.
The HUE stick is a color correction product, so you're going to apply that first, and then you can feel free to just apply foundation over that, or you can do foundation and concealer, or you can do color corrector and just concealer.
Exactly.
Right? It's that different combo that whatever you normally would do if you are just a concealer girl, just do your concealer over it.
The HUE stick should make you wear less makeup, not more.
Yes.
If you're using a HUE stick correctly, it should be reducing the load of your foundation and reducing the load of your concealer. Think of like on a primer, when you're priming a canvas, you need to put a color to even out the base of it. That's what this is essentially doing.
Totally.
So you can go HUE stick plus foundation, and that will be enough to even out your skin.
If you are not using a color corrector, right, you're loading up more base product to get that coverage and to cancel out those tones.
Think Instagram makeup.
Exactly. But with a color corrector, you're already neutralizing those tones, so you can just put a wash, technically, over your color corrector, and you're going to get that really beautiful, brightened, evened tone that you want without having to load up a ton of concealer or foundation.
And I think that's a great point. The first and foremost thing was, how do we make these work as color correctors?
Yes.
So Perk is a specific shade to work for the lightest discoloration. But then our next level of research was, how do we make this a wearable eye, cheek, and lip?
Totally.
It was out of my comfort zone to wear Perk on my lips.
Totally.
But I'm obsessed with it on my cheek and eyes.
Yeah.
On my lips, I personally love pairing it with a browner lip liner. And it's beautiful.
That's what we did today. Yeah, and then I just tap that right in the center, buff it out with my finger, and you can see it just gives you like even a fuller looking lip, right? Because it's brightening that center of your lip with the lip liner. It's gonna have like a juicy pout.
My girlfriend Radhi loves to mix Rise and Perk together to create like a coral.
Yeah.
Just experiment. You can layer them together, mix them together.
Yeah.
No rules.
There's no rules. No.
First of all, it's hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic, cruelty-free, vegan, and clean. The pigments in our OG Huesticks are all eye safe, which is why Origin is the exact color red that it is. There is only pigments in it that are eye safe, and that's what took us A, so long to create it, and B, why it's that exact color red that it is.
Right.
There's no blue base to it, you know, it's just like kind of a true red.
Yeah.
So the answer is play all over. The exact amount is on the bottom of the Huestick. It says 0.1 ounce. The Huestick actually at the bottom is twistable, so you guys can see that it goes all the way up. Kasey actually did a very competitive analysis of the market to make sure that you guys got your money's worth. So that is some of your questions. I'm sure you guys have more, but definitely let us know down below. We would love if you guys use #LiveTinted and shared your HUE hacks with us. How do you use the Huestick? Because there's a million ways and it's so playful and fun. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.